Good morning, children. Let's begin today's session with the answers of the previous assignment given to you. The first question was to draw the plant cell and label the parts. The second question, why do living organisms need food? The answer to that, please check. Living organisms need food to build their bodies, to grow, repair damaged body parts, and energy to carry out life processes. The third question was, what are the components of carbohydrates? Carbohydrates are made of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen atoms. Question 4, what are the components of food? Components of food are carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, fats, and minerals. And the answer for question 5, chloroplasts are living structures present in the plant cell which contains chlorophyll. So till now we have seen how plants have made carbohydrates. Now we know that some foods that we eat contain a lot of proteins. Now how do you think plants synthesize proteins? I have already told you that carbohydrates are made of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen atoms. Similarly, proteins are made of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen. Now from where do you think these plants get nitrogen? And all of you know that the atmosphere is made of abundant amount of nitrogen. But there is one more thing to tell you. These plants cannot absorb nitrogen directly from the atmosphere. So now, how does it get this nitrogen? One way is, there is a bacterium called rhizobium which converts nitrogen in the air into soluble form. Soluble form meaning it can be absorbed by the roots. This soluble form of nitrogen is absorbed by the roots. These bacteria are present in leguminous plants and help the plant to get nitrogen and synthesize proteins. Now when I say leguminous plants or legumes, it is a term used to describe the seeds of plants which includes peas, beans, peanuts and soya beans. Now sometimes farmers also add nitrogenous fertilizers to their fields. So these are the two ways in which plants can get nitrogen from the soil. Now let's begin this session. Now let us talk about how photosynthesis takes place in desert plants. Now all of you know that in the deserts, the availability of water is very less. And we also know that plants lose water as vapor during transpiration. So, now how do you think these plants in the deserts can make food? Now in the desert plants, the leaves are modified into spine-like structures that prevent loss of water. Now look at the picture, the first picture on your slide, which shows those spine-like structures. Those spine-like structures which you can see there are actually the leaves. And look at that green part of that plant, which is actually the stem. So the stem, which is green in color, is the place where food is made. So in the desert plants, food is prepared in the stems. Now look at the second picture on your slide. You can see green patches there. Now you would have also seen green patches in moist places where it is very wet. Now actually this place, as soon as you look at it, it looks like velvet, and those places are also very slippery. Now actually these green patches are nothing but they are algae, which are simple non-flowering aquatic plants. And these plants are green in color since they have chlorophyll, which helps them to make food. Now let us discuss about heterotrophic mode of nutrition in plants. Now under heterotrophic mode of nutrition, we have the parasitic plants, insectivorous plants, saprophytes, and the symbiotic plants. Now first let us see what are parasitic plants. Now before that, what is a parasite? A parasite is an organism that lives on or in an organism known as the host. In parasitic plants, these plants do not have chlorophyll, so they obtain food from the host plant, meaning on which it grows. Now children, please repeat the spelling of the word parasite. P-A-R-A-S-I-T-E. Host, H-O-S-T, host. Plant upon which an organism grows. Take the example of Cuscuta, which is a parasitic plant. Now this plant grows in tropical regions and has yellow wiry branch structures twining around the stem and branches of trees. Now you can see that in the picture. These plants form spine-like structures called ostoria, which penetrate the tissues of the host and absorb the nutrients. So, the host plant is deprived of nutrients. Ostorium is the modified stem or root of this plant. Now let's talk about the insectivorous plants. Plants which eat insects are called insectivorous plants. Now these plants have chlorophyll. A few examples of insectivorous plants are the pitcher plant, Drosera, Venus flytrap, etc. Now if you look at the pitcher plant, the leaf of this plant is modified to form a pitcher-like structure. This attracts the insects. Once the insect sits on it, it gets trapped inside and then it gets digested by the enzymes that are secreted by the cells of the plant. Now insectivorous plants are green in color. But then why do you think these plants eat insects? Now these plants grow in marshy areas where there is deficiency of nitrogen. So that region or that place where they are growing, they don't get enough amount of nitrogen. So the nitrogen need is fulfilled by sucking the juice of insects. Now children, spell out insectivorous. I-N-S-E-C-T-I-V-O-R-O-U-S. Pitcher, P-I-T-C-H-E-R. Now here pitcher meaning the plant looks like a jug. The modified leaf looks like a jug. That's why it's given the name the pitcher plant. Now children, try to answer these questions. The first name we have named the following. A parasitic plant with slender and branched stems. The pores through which leaves exchange gases. The tissue which helps in transport of water and minerals from the soil. Plants which trap insects and which feed on them. Answer the following. Name the bacteria that provide nitrogen to plants. What are parasitic plants? Now, let us discuss these answers in the next session.